So, A4M Longevity Fest, the biggest anti-aging conference in all of the United States. I was exhibiting for a company called Brain Armor. This is not a paid sponsorship of that company, but I do believe in the product and I wouldn't be working with them if I didn't care. So carrying on from my Las Vegas trip, at this point I'm still at Cowboy Christmas, but I do need to head back to my hotel, then back to the Venetian for setup. I left the Las Vegas Convention Center, hopped back onto the monorail, took it back to the link, grabbed some supplies, met up with my partner, and we made our way to the hotel and conference center. Welcome to the Venetian and Palazzo Hotel, Casino, and Convention Center. It is a place where two of these moving walkways lead you into the casino, and only one leads you out. So we got to our booth and all of our supplies were waiting there, which was great. We started putting together our attention banner, and after a little fiddling around, we were able to get it up. I had my Osmo 6 gimbal with me, so I was able to mess around with like a time lapse, and I thought it came out pretty good. There was one problem though. When we got that banner up and running, we noticed that our tension banner didn't have enough tension. So our vinyl fabric banner, which was fresh out of the box, didn't have enough pull behind it. It was a little crinkly looking. Unfortunately, that's just the way it came out. That is what happens when you go with Vistaprint rather than a proper printing company. Either way, we're pretty much ready to go here. We got our product set up on the table, take some pictures, put it back to store it. And I spent a little bit of time just kind of walking around the expo floor, just kind of sniffing out what the other setup is, and I knew this was going to be a monster event. Already, tons of big island booths, just lots of big exhibitors, many I haven't even heard of course, in the health and wellness, longevity space, and just the expo floor was massive. After setting everything up and there wasn't much else to do, we kind of got everything ready to go, had some dinner, and decided to hang out. So, day one of Longevity Fest. I got there a bit early, kind of set up some of the stuff onto our table, had some breakfast, get that coffee in me, and now with all the exhibitors fully built up and pretty much ready to go, I knew this was going to be a big one. So right out of the gate on the show floor, there's already just big island booths just waiting there for you. Pharmacies, other types of health and wellness products, and of course anything related to testing and any bit of regulatory. I get to my booth, get our products sort of on display, get our printing materials going, and wait for my partner to show up so that way we can get the party started. And at this point here, we got to meet our booth neighbors. All really nice, they were great neighbors to have at the expo floor, so they were awesome. Show floor opens at 10 o'clock. Me and my partner are in there, we're waiting, people are coming in, we're saying hi, and at this point it's busy, but it's not crazy. And I wait for the first sort of segment to die down when I can go off and do my own thing. So I worked with the company beforehand, and they gave me the thumbs up to kind of go around and do some sort of own content there. And I was also doing it as a way to sort of meet our neighbors and meet the other exhibitors and speak to them that way. Obviously, you're not really supposed to leave your booth to be soliciting with other exhibitors, but there's nothing stopping you from going there and networking with them and connecting, because that's the whole point of why you're at these conferences at the first place. Also, I had the approach saying, hey, I got this gimbal here, I want to get some pictures, get some stuff on my Instagram blog. Am I good to go? Most of them, 99% of them were yeah, absolutely. So yeah, landscape shot, portrait shot, and then maybe if I wanted to get sort of a video pan as well, something like that. I then sort of introduced myself saying I was hanging out at the very corner of the booth. And yeah, I was from Brain Armor, don't be afraid to stop by, typical networking stuff. Now my company was located, we were at the very corner of the expo floor, closer to one of the main stages and the food lounge. Surprisingly, even though the foot traffic wasn't as big as other parts of the expo floor, sometimes that little bit of less foot traffic is a good thing because we were still getting a constant group of people coming along. But at the end of the day, there's only so many people you can physically speak to and actually connect with during an hour. So the constant traffic we were getting, we were able to make some great connections. So when given time to kind of go all around on my own and get some vlog content, I was able to pick up on certain patterns and certain big things that were at this event. The first one I noticed, so many hyperbaric chambers. I'm not big in the health and wellness space, but I know hyperbaric, oxygen therapy, whatever, and there was a lot of different versions of these things, but just tons of them that you can go into the expo floor, they can even get into one, get that oxygen therapy. Some people are straight up just buying them as a B2B purchase for their clinics, wild stuff. The other big thing in the anti-aging space, light therapy. You see a lot of like red light therapy or just light therapy in general, whether you sort of sit in what looks like kind of like just a suntan booth, but it's all like just supposed to be good like light to help like kind of freshen up your skin. I don't know the science behind it, and I'm sure a lot of people will argue about that science, but once again, massive presence. Either they had one of those sort of booths in there where you can go in there and get like, you can actually get in there, hop into that booth to get that light therapy, or there was like 2 or 3 on display. Like they were island booths, they had multiple ones ready to go that people were able to get that like light therapy. Another big theme, and I've seen this before at other events, ice baths. So like way back when I went to like the outdoor adventure show, there was like culture, they had those ice tubs. Once again, there was a few of these guys around. It was either like cold therapy or ice baths. One booth had this really crazy setup where, once again, massive island booth. They had like this cold sauna that you can sit in, and they built dressing rooms into the booth itself, so you can go in there, like put on your like house gown, come out, sit in this thing for like 30 seconds to just get blasted with cold, and then like put like your clothes back on, like in your own like private booth. Really cool. I've never seen anything like this. And the last big thing I noticed, peptides. Whether they were like pharmacy exhibitors or like very specific exhibitors just on peptides itself. Once again, I'm not really into the health and wellness space, but peptides, there seems to be a lot of talk about these becoming the next big thing. Whether you believe in it or not, the physical presence here was real. Overall though, the actual booth designs themselves were incredible. I thought they had some excellent design aspects behind them because it's a lot of health and wellness, a lot of women working in marketing and sort of like pharmacy as well. They do put a lot of effort into making really nice booths. So for example, this one right here had like the light showing into the jungle to like really well lit, right? On par with the National Women's Show. In fact, it makes sense that there's overlap, that there was a lot of health and wellness, longevity, anti-aging booths at National Women's Show. I wouldn't even be surprised if people from that event came down here, but most likely National Women's Show was more on the Canadian side of things. So if you're a Canadian who's into health and wellness, check out Longevity Fest. And that was sort of the vibe of like the next 2 to 3 days of the event. I didn't really get to go to any of the talks or the workshops. I was focusing just on handling the booth and kind of going around visiting other exhibitors, introducing myself and getting content that way, but I'm sure there was a lot of like excellent talks on anti-aging, health and wellness, any other like really good stuff there. Day 2 is kind of where me and Evan kind of really went to Las Vegas, did a bit of partying. We found this one sort of Latin bar in the Link Hotel itself, and absolute vibe. People, it was just a Latin night from like 12 o'clock to the break of dawn, and packed, awesome time, hell yeah. Overall, I think our company made some excellent contacts. It's just a matter of like following up after the New Year's, after that holiday break when business starts kicking up again. And just really like, I thought the people we met there were amazing. And that was Longevity Fest 2024 and my Las Vegas trip. As I said, I think we made some great contacts there, just a matter of following up. I think I got some excellent content that I can pretty much post for months. Almost too much health and wellness and anti-aging content, but I'm not complaining. And overall, it's been a pretty great year for this channel. I just started off. I'm really excited to kind of keep going to events like these, just like I was going before, but just really sort of getting more of that content going. Obviously, I want to focus more on Toronto, continue to go to some great events there, and there's a lot of events in Toronto that I haven't been to yet. But in the new year, if I'm able to, I want to be able to mix and match a little bit of like USA events as well. Obviously, there's big stuff in Chicago, New York, and if I can get another Vegas or trip to another great expo, I'm going to do that as well. For the 30 to 40 people who have been following me, thank you for subscribing. 40 subscribers ain't much in the get-go, or 100 subscribers on Instagram isn't big, but at the end of the day, you gotta start somewhere, and I'm just happy to kind of get some stuff, even just posting for myself. 2025 is gonna be a interesting year. I do believe that no matter what happens, you gotta still support yourself and support the people around you, build that community, and that's why I love sort of events marketing, expos. So, as I mentioned, for those who've already been following, thank you. And for those watching for the first time, please like and subscribe. I really want to get more stuff out there. And once again, thank you for watching and have a great 2025.